My stepdad threw away my late father's military medals because they clashed with the decor, so I reported his vintage car collection as stolen and watched the police tow them away. My dad died in combat when I was 6 years old. The only things I have left of him are his Purple Heart, his service ribbons, and the folded flag that was draped over his casket. For 20 years, I kept them in a beautiful handmade shadow box on the mantle in the living room. Holy grail of our house. When my mom married Gary 3 years ago, I made it very clear. Do whatever you want with the house, but do not touch the shadow box. Gary is a narcissist who thinks he's a high-end interior designer. He's been slowly erasing any trace of my dad from the house for years, replacing our family photos with modern art and painting everything beige. But last Tuesday, I came home from work to find the mantle empty. My heart dropped into my stomach. I panicked. I tore the house apart looking for that shadow box. I checked the attic, the garage, the closets. Finally, I went outside to the curb. I opened the recycling bin, and there it was. The glass was shattered. The wood frame was cracked in half, and the American flag was stained with coffee grounds and spaghetti sauce. I fell to my knees. I felt like I was losing my dad all over again. I grabbed the pieces and stormed into the house, trembling with rage. Found Gary on the couch drinking wine. I held up the broken frame and screamed, "What is wrong with you?" He didn't even look up from his iPad. He just rolled his eyes and said, "Oh, stop being so dramatic. That old junk was tacky." It was ruining the feng shui of the room. I put up a nice abstract print instead. "You should thank me, the room breathes better now." He actually called my dead father's Purple Heart tacky. Something inside me snapped. The room went cold. I didn't scream again. I didn't hit him. I just walked out to the garage. See, Gary has one love in this life. His collection of 3 pristine vintage Mustangs. 65, a 67, and a 69. He spends every weekend polishing them, telling everyone they are his babies. He loves those cars more than he ever loved my mother. But here's the thing. Gary has disastrously bad credit. He has a bankruptcy on his record. So when he bought those cars 5 years ago, my mom actually signed the checks, and the titles were in her name. Sadly, my mom passed away 3 months ago, and in her will, she left all personal property, household items, and vehicles to me, solely to me. I had been letting him keep the cars there to be nice, because I knew he loved them, but nice was over. I walked back inside, grabbed the spare keys from the hook, and called the police non-emergency line. I told the dispatcher I would like to report 3 stolen vehicles. The unauthorized user has refused to return my property. When the police arrived 20 minutes later, Gary laughed at them. He stood in the driveway, puffing his chest out. He told the officers, "Get off my property. This kid is having a tantrum." The sergeant looked at me and asked, "Who holds the title?" Gary froze. The color drained from his face. I stepped forward and handed the officer the probate documents and the titles, proving I was the undisputed owner. The officer looked at Gary and said, "Sir, step away from the vehicles, hand over the keys, or we will arrest you for grand theft auto." Gary started screaming. He tried to block the driveway. "You can't do this. These are mine. I paid for the restoration." The officer just shook his head. "Possession isn't ownership, sir." Gary watched in tears, literally sobbing on the pavement, as 3 flatbed trucks hooked up his babies and dragged them away. The sound of the 67 scraping against the asphalt as they pulled it up was music to my ears. I sold all 3 of them the next day to a local collector. I sold them for about half of what they were worth just to get them gone fast. And the best part, the guy I sold them to was Gary's arch-rival from the local car club. I used the cash to restore my dad's shadow box. And I bought a brand new house, and I made sure the decor is exactly the way I like it.